Like, I hate this argument. I guess we're done with this for today. Debates and stuff now. I fucking hate this argument of my culture is being erased. I've argued this with my dad before because I'm Turkish. I was born in Turkey. I grew up in America, but I was born in Turkey, and because of this, I know a lot about Turkish history. Thanks for the follow. Now, a lot of Turkish people have this same exact issue with Syrian refugees. They hate the Syrian refugees. They think that they're all the problems for the economy, and they do all this nasty shit. However, right? None of this is true. But why? Why is this the way that it's looked at? Why is the refugee step, the next evolution of this? But none of this coincides with reality. All of this coincides with this delusional desire to stop change in general. Like, there is no one culture that stays consistent forever. That doesn't happen. That's never happened. Cultures shift, cultures combine, cultures collide, cultures evolve over time. Your culture is never going to stay the same. It is it is beyond stupid to be concerned with preserving the exact culture that you grew up in. It is a denial of progress, a denial of change. Greetings, I've returned. I do apologize. You were thinking you were free of me, but I am back. Had to answer a friend in need. Nope, didn't think I was free of you. I even mentioned you a minute ago. I just want to be understood as a person. I feel like an immigrant in my own culture half the time. I mean, I have been an immigrant in every culture I've lived in my whole life, so I understand that feeling. It's easy to say that, but it's also not natural that you dump in a car. That's not what's happening here, though, Bulletproof Bullet. There is no entire country worth of immigrants being dumped onto a society. And by the way that your government handles the influx of immigration is your government's fault. The fact that it is not worked out for Germany is not the fault of the immigrants. It's not the fault of the German citizen. It's a fault of the German state and the EU broadly for not creating a better system at all. Like, not even considering. All they do is just whinge about them and want to get rid of them. There is no implementation. By the way, on top of this, the idea of there is a lot more violent extremism, specifically like Islamic violent extremism in Europe, as there is, in the US. That is true. There is much more violent, like extremist terrorists, happening in Europe. Why? Because the people that come into these countries are not accepted by the civilian population. They're not allowed to integrate into the society, and so they form enclaves. And in these enclaves, they continue to add on to their own ideology. They enter an echo chamber. They create their own little echo chamber, and from the outside, they're receiving hate. And now they're in this little enclave echo chamber for protection, which increases their degree of hate, increasing the level of violence that is done. It is directly the fault of not integrating these people into society. Sorry, I got a bunch of chats here. So culture is something that passes generations. Yep. For some reason, I cannot chat on my main, but I can chat on this one. Who knows? Speaking of culture, we here in the UK generally are angered at our culture being attacked. So much of the way of life has changed. Yeah, that's the thing that you guys need to cope with. Like, culture is going to change. Your culture will never ever stay the same. Yeah, but people are blaming the state for deciding that only solution is more immigration when they don't want it. But you need it. Bulletproof Bullet, what's your country's replacement rate, your birth rate? It's below replacement rate, isn't it? You need immigration. America is like not failing specifically because we have immigration. Australia also has this issue of we don't want immigration, but we fucking need it real bad. It's the idea of not wanting to lose your culture to the mixing with other cultures that I think is stupid. Well, I know it's not the argument that people like, and I'm not trying to message to the people here, you know? We've discussed before, there are different ways of engaging and different ways of speaking depending on the goal and the outcome. I'm not trying to advocate for something. I'm not trying to change really your mind. I'm just telling you my opinion on your opinion. You're allowed to have that opinion. Honestly, I think the only nation good at immigration is Spain. Honestly, I have no idea about how Spain does migration. I just wanted Australia to throw out the version where we have literally destroyed and removed indigenous people's culture. You're never going to get that, Scars. Sorry. The elites are saying it's for your own good, and the citizens are saying no thanks. The thing is, the elites are saying it's for your own good, but then also fucking you at the same time. This could be for your own good. The immigration could benefit your country if the elites didn't also want to jam their foot in your ass at the same time. Marxism is theft. What the fuck are... In line 23 of Capital, but whether the material factors of the processes are normal quality or not depends upon the laborer, but entirely upon the capitalist. We're on page 157, and we haven't read that. Your copy is different. And also, we just covered the entirety of what commodity, value form, exchange form, all of these are. Are you insane? Oh, fuck you, JamTPMT. You are a little incel bitch baby that can continue to whine as much as you like. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to even ban you. I'm going to make you sit here and listen to me talk. Forever. Forever. We have certain cultures here who have made it very clear that they have no wish to integrate. Again, they don't want to integrate because they've already formed the enclaves, Fat Gas. As I explained earlier, it was the inability to integrate to begin with. The lack of incentive from the actual British to integrate these people into society, to work with them, to be around them. The fear, the anger, the cultural shock, the fucking media that these people have to see every day. Of course they don't want to integrate into the society. They're terrified of you people. What they want is to just be safe. And because they're in these enclaves now, they become more extreme because they enter this echo chamber where everyone hates them from the outside, and from the inside they just have their own opinions. I'm more just talking about forced at work. Don't just form because of higher immigration. They form because of high immigration and an unwillingness of the local population to integrate these immigrants into the society. Marxism is theft. Can you be on topic? You could have brought this up, I don't know, an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 hours ago when we were reading Marx. Did you finish the political test? Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I did that on YouTube. Then the next stream after that, Happy Thanksgiving at the Islam. Interpretation towards said ideology is like a religious belief today. It's so insane sometimes. Immigration hasn't changed my culture at all. I've actually made friends that I wouldn't have. True. Henrik, you got this. You're correct here. Immigration does not need to change your culture if you are willing to integrate the immigrants into your culture. I disagree, Batcast. You should not be expected to, you should be expected to follow the existing laws, sure, but that doesn't mean you should have to, there is no fundamental reason you should have to acclimate and integrate into a culture. You should, because it's good for you, but there is no, rule that says this. You need, as the British person, as the person whose country is being visited by immigrants, you're responsible for getting them to integrate into your system. You are responsible as the citizen of your country to make sure that these people don't form enclaves and become extremists. You need to put the effort in, not them. They already do. They came to your country. Then they've been denied at every point of every social right, respect, safety, and then they obviously form these enclaves. But the reality is, right, if the locals don't want to integrate and the immigrants don't want to integrate, well, again, it's the fault of the immigrants it's the fault of the locals that the immigrants don't want to integrate, which by definition means that the locals can change this, can incentivize the immigrants to integrate. It's you that has the problem, not them. Don't blame the immigrants. It's your culture of not wanting to integrate immigrants into your culture. That is the issue. It's not them. It's not anyone but you. You are the reason that they don't integrate. Not you personally, but I mean like you as a whole of like the society at large. I don't understand how immigrants hinder me practicing my religion or personal beliefs. They don't. Imagine being so racist that you won't allow brown people to bring in good food and music. True. I can't come to your house and demand you do things for me. That'd be disrespectful. What are they demanding that you do for them? That guys. They're coming into your house, sure, asking you for help because they've left their country, because they're home, like, take Syrian refugees. They're not coming into your house demanding anything. They're knocking on your door saying, hey, please help me. And what they tend to get, not from you, again, I'm not personally attacking any of you, but the Syrian refugee who knocks on the door saying, hey, I need help, please help me, usually just get spit in the face and then, dirty brown person, fuck off. That's the answer that they tend to get. And that is the fault of the local culture, not of the immigrants. Blaming the locals is an awful answer. You can't say that you have to take these immigrants. Yes, you do. I believe in open borders, bulletproof bullet. I don't think that there should be borders. I don't believe in separating people based on ethnicity, culture, religion, race. I don't believe in any of that. Fuck that shit. We are a global proletariat. I am a global society girl. That's not how my head thinks. Good night, Henrik. It's good to have you. I am an immigrant. I think they have some responsibility too. Oh, absolutely. Not to say that the immigrants don't also have some responsibility. It's just, how are they supposed to put in any effort when the other side is incredibly unresponsive? It's kind of like, as a leftist, I have the responsibility to try and change a right-winger's mind. But if they come in here and just start saying Trump 2024 and start calling me slurs, how am I supposed to do my part if they're not going to engage? Now, this is obviously a bit of an extreme example, but, for my belief, if you choose to move to a country, you should investigate the... What about refugees, Batgaz? Most of these people are refugees. They are running away. They weren't even picking and choosing where to go. Most of them landed where they're landing because that's what, like, the circumstances. A lot of them ended up in Turkey, for example, because Europe is paying Turkey to not them in, but there's a lot of them there too. There's wars everywhere. They're escaping and asking you for help. It's not them choosing to move to your country because they just want to live in the UK so bad. This is like, I disagree with this so much. Should there be an open door to your house? Yes. Yes. Why the fuck would I need to lock the door to my house if everyone was like cooperative as a species? We incentivize cooperative behavior, and then yes. Duh. If people can work together, which we know we can, as long as we're not being purposefully put against each other by the media, then no, there's no fucking risk of like, why would I need to lock my door? A lot of people growing up in the 70s didn't lock their doors. I want to make people cooperative. I'm not hoping anything. You don't hope to create change. You incentivize change. And you incentivize cooperation by making it more beneficial to cooperate than not. We can now not fly the flag of our own country in front of our own homes. Bullshit. Cite me that, Batgaz. What do you mean you can't fly the country of your own flag because it's disrespectful? Is it maybe an old flag? Maybe a flag with some really negative connotations? The Confederate flag, you can still fly around, but you're an asshole if you do. Our American beliefs are literally, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Literally, yes! Except most Americans don't believe in that anymore, unfortunately. Marxism is theft. It's not about whether they want to or not. You make it better for them to. You incentivize the behavior by making it beneficial to do so. It's the same way that you can stop countries from going to war, by making it better for both parties to cooperate. Go look up like game theory, for example. We've tested this in so many ways. Cooperation is not like this imaginary thing that cannot exist. They suffer because then they don't do the cooperative thing and then they get, shunned from the community. And so they suffer, and then maybe they come back and they cooperate. Check British. I'm not checking anything. If you want me to believe like what you're saying, you got to cite me a source. I'm like busy. We might have people not from the U.S. and are here just troll. No, there's a lot. There's a lot of people that aren't not here from the U.S., but none of these people so far are trolls. Marxism is Steph just really disagrees with my ideology, but he's not a troll. And the rest of these people, like I know all of them, and most of my like a lot of these viewers that come in and go aren't in the U.S. anyway. Yeah, don't be racist and they'll be more open to assimilation. True. Comrade Lenin, exactly right. Literally exactly right. But even more so, like, again, it's just incentivization. Just Google UK flag offensive. All right, fine. Fine. I'll have a look. Not to say that, like, by the way, not to say that sometimes, like, the left also are idiots. Commonly so, in fact. It's not like I haven't complained. This article is 3 years old from The Guardian. Why flying the Union Jack has become contentious. Following day, flags were hoisted all over government ministries, one unnamed, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Brown to a TV studio argued that the flag symbolized British values of liberty, sense of fairness, blah, blah, blah. Also, like, really, really quickly, I don't give a fuck about your flag anyway. I don't give a fuck about the American flag. Your flag is dumb as shit. Every flag is dumb as shit. Patriotism is stupid. Cultural protectionism is stupid. It's all dumb as fuck. Again, none of that matters. You guys are focused on like the things that the media is literally making you focus on instead of paying attention to the people who are actually fucking you. Patriotism, your flag, none of this, cultural protectionism, none of it means anything to anybody in reality. None of it changes anything. You are trained to have this reaction. You understand this, right? Like, this is not like if you took a baby, raised them in a vacuum until they're 18 years old. British genes. You get the king and the queen to fuck. You take their baby, you raise it till it's an adult in a vacuum, and you put it in England. Do you think it's going to give a fuck about patriotism? No. We're internationalists over here, not nationalists. Exactly. Like, that shit kind of disgusts me. Not to say that, like, it doesn't matter. It does matter. It's actually quite important. The beliefs that you guys have are really important. The perceptions that you have. I just don't think that they're correct. And yes, facts don't matter in politics. It is all perception. We've said this a billion times. Vibe is what people live on. We live in a post-truth society. From the moment in 2016 that Donald Trump first said the words fake news, we live in a society that does not base its opinions on factual evidence or data, but on vibe. And so change the vibe. For me, our grandparents died to enjoy the freedoms. Okay, you're allowed to be proud of that, but certain cultures coming here demand we change and accommodate for them. You should change and accommodate for them. I'm sorry, but like, I don't care about the UK's like culture. I don't care about American culture. I don't care about Australian culture. I don't care about Turkish culture. I care about humanity. I mean, yeah, but that kind of feels bad, Lenin. That feels like a Lenin thing to do. Or rather a Stalin thing to do. People dying for their country do matter. I just don't think that patriotism matters. Don't put words in my mouth, Marxism is Steph. This is why I banned you last time for a day. Do not put words in my mouth. I didn't say people dying for their country don't fucking matter. That really makes me mad. That's like my one pet peeve. Don't argue with a fucking shadow version of me in your head. I'm here and listen to the words I say, argue accordingly. Patriotism and your belief of your cultural, like, no, but the way you asked that was not asking a question. Really, people dying for their country don't matter? That's not a question, that's an accusation. I'm not an idiot. Pay attention. Secondly, it's your culture that doesn't matter, it's your nationality that doesn't matter, it's your ethnicity that doesn't matter, and your patriotism that doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck if the Palestinians are patriotic. I don't care. Just consume, 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 make our companies rich. Literally, I read the whole bit from George Carlin yesterday because I couldn't show the video, but yeah, that. Being UK, I do. You're allowed to care. You're allowed to be proud. I just don't think that you're allowed to decide government, like, policy. You're not allowed to tell other people how they should feel. You can be proud, but I could be a UK citizen standing next to you and take a piss on the Union Jack, and you should legally not have any right to do anything about it. I could burn an American flag, and I should be perfectly fine doing that. You know why? Because none of that shit fucking matters. People die for their country. People die for their fucking freedoms. Yeah, none of that's, like, invalidating, guys. You both can be true. Nuance can be true. You can have a fight for freedom, but then also not protectionist. Like, why do you need the protectionist policies on the culture? If you fought for the freedom, then have the freedom to do whatever you like. Your culture doesn't matter. It's freedom that matters. Should we be kind to each other? Only because feelings make people more likely to subscribe to an ideology. I know, Lenin, like, I get it. I can't do it. I can't try and spread, like, socialist theory through nationalism, because nationalism genuinely disgusts me. They're fighting for their right to exist while, you know, being genocided. Doesn't make them, like, I don't care if they're patriots or not. Sure, okay, they're patriots for Palestine, but that's not the point. The point is they're being genocided. I don't give a fuck if they're patriots or not. They could hate Palestine. They're still being genocided. No, but that's not how it works, Bulletproof Bullet. America fought for freedom. You think we safeguarded freedom? How has our nationalism, our patriotism safeguarded freedom at all? All it has done is reduce freedom over time. This is the same in Europe, by the way. Every single one of you who fought for freedom, nationalism has reduced your freedom over time. You guys are focused on the wrong part. That's all I'm saying. It's not, like, you're not wrong. Your beliefs matter. They're valid. Some of your beliefs I very vehemently disagree with, but realistically, you're still, the main point is you're focusing your, like, attention in the wrong direction. Sentient Juice Slave, I will one day try and make a teddy bear for you. I mean, I could technically open up a merch store because I have Streamlabs and it helps me build it, but, like, I don't have enough followers to have a merch store. I don't even get enough subs, let alone thinking people are gonna buy merch. Also, coming to this country gives them homes, safe. Yeah, okay, you should do that anyway. You know, they should not be thankful and then respect the ingrained cultures and customs. It is your right. It is your, like, ethical and moral duty as a human being to safeguard the, like, other people that come to you for help when they're refugees from a war, when they have nothing else. You as a human should just naturally want to take care of them, whether or not they like your culture or not. These are the forces these arguments are up against, though. You can say, no, I understand. Bulletproof Bullet. The forces that these arguments are up against are going to win. My arguments will not win, because I am not as loud as the entirety of the media apparatus on the right. But yes, I understand that these are the arguments. Believe me, I understand the arguments. I see them from literally every country, because you know why? The right is the same everywhere. Germany, Italy, France, America, Russia, Israel, Australia, they all have the same fucking rhetoric, the same ideas, the same conspiracy theories, the same arguments, and they're always wrong. They're all wrong, just off the bat anyway. But, like, what am I supposed to do other than counter it? I'm just not loud enough to counter it enough to make the change. Humanity matters more than traditions, culture, nations, ethnic. Humans are equal to everyone on the planet. Nothing makes you different. Literally, yes. Marxism is theft. What are you on about? They're fighting to not die. They're being genocided. What the fuck does that have to do with patriotism? You don't have to. Honestly, it feels good to be here because I can just burn through all the intrusive thoughts. Fair. But I also would like to just like have teddy bear available. All right. I feel like going back to Marx today might not work out. I feel like maybe we got a bit too hyped up now to just go back to me reading. So I'm not quite done yet though. Let me see what we got. Let's see what we can have a look at. Let me have a look at the good old Twitter and see what's trending. Oh, fuck me. This is already horrible. Okay. Well, first of all, going back to our UFO craze that we've covered before. All right, I'll put out a vote. You guys can vote. More Marks or not? We can look at news or we can look at Marks. Do vote, peasants, vote. News. What's looking like for me right now as well. This chat is on fire. Good. To ask a country for help and then that's not what they're doing. You're disrespecting them until they become extremist bad guys. Again, if you want them to integrate into your culture, be nice to them and stop being racist to them, and they'll integrate into your culture. It's just that simple. You just need to not make them feel unsafe. Okay. We've been covering the craze of people obsessed with UFOs since the goddamn UFO hearing in America. And again, every time, grainy bullshit videos that people are obsessed over. Every fucking time. Oh, look, there's some hovering lights over Washington, D.C. Anything high res? No? Yeah, it's aliens, I'm sure. Of course. It's just we can only ever see them from far away with a shitty camera. They're like Bigfoot, you know? The aliens are actually related to Bigfoot. And so yeah. Satellites. No, probably just drones. I would say drones. More than anything. Those like Okay. Fuck Putin and whatever his like warnings or risks are. He's bluffing and can't do shit. This is what I said. Oh no. If Elon Musk buys D&D, I'm gonna be so sad. He's already talking about making an AI fucking game company. We talked about this yesterday. Why does everything have to have AI? Why does everything have to be infused with this bullshit like learning algorithm? They're in a line. SpaceX satellites tend to look like that. Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe it's satellites then. It could be satellites or drones. All I'm saying is it's definitely not aliens. You don't get it. They have to adopt that racism and spit on each other instead of white guys being racist towards them, and they have to vote for Trump to deport them. Ah, of course, yes, of course. That is how that works. Okay, what else is going on? I really don't want to listen to these goddamn like mainstream media pretending that Russia is an actual threat to us. But let's hear what they have to say.
Colder in Ukraine as winter sets in, and more than 1 million homes are without power after Russia unleashed a barrage.
I do need ice cream. I have ice cream in the freezer. I'm gonna have some after stream.
Of missiles and drones aimed at critical energy facilities. The onslaught forced people in the capital of Kyiv to shelter in metro stations and destroyed houses near the city of Odessa in the south. At least 5 people.
Notice how all they can ever do is try and hit like electrical infrastructure and then whinge and threaten nukes because they literally cannot do anything on their own. They had North Korea there to help them and still could not make like any real military gains. They're useless. They're a fucking dead country.
Injured. Russian President Vladimir Putin says this assault was because Ukraine used American-made missiles to strike inside Russian territory.
Good. Do it again.
President Biden
and again.
gave
And
Kyiv
again.
the green light to do earlier this month. Today, Putin criticized Biden for creating what he said.
Anthony, I fucking hate AI or LLMs. I hate them so much. They're built on stealing. They produce slop. They can do nothing of use. Nothing of use. Literally. Any art they create is soulless bullshit. It's just all trash. Goon platoons first shot at combat in 70 years, literally.
There are difficulties for President-elect Donald Trump's incoming administration, and he praised Donald Trump as
Of course he did.
intelligent and experienced, someone who will find solutions. Joining us now is retired Air Force Colonel Cedric Leighton.
Remember yesterday when we were looking at Jackson Hinkle on Russian state media glazing Tulsi Gabbard and Michael Flynn? Oh, by the way, Michael Flynn is literally Q from QAnon, just so you know. That's been proven. By the way, I think you are great and genuine pleasure to chat to. Good. I'm glad I make you take a second look. And again, I don't want any of you to feel like I'm attacking you personally. I just, like, the nationalism thing really gets me. That's I grew up dealing with this and having this argument over and over again, so maybe just get just a little bit over the top with it. But that's about it.
Leighton,
But
thank you so much for sharing part of your Thanksgiving with us. I first want to get your response to this accusation from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that in these attacks on Ukrainian energy infrastructure right before winter, they used cluster munitions. How well is Kyiv equipped?
This is stupid. They're talking about bullshit again because remember, we're gonna cut funding to Ukraine literally when Donald Trump becomes the president. And honestly, if we do, and if we pull out of NATO, then the UK might go to war with Russia and show the world that we could just annihilate Russia with only the UK and nobody else. Just send 6 guys in, take out the Kremlin. It's not that hard. All right. This contentious bill that I am in favor of, a lot of people are against. We'll cover that. Oh, shit. More chats. We need to stop beating around the bush with easily co-opted labels like progressive and popular. I'm literally a libertarian socialist. No fucking co-optable. They tried to co-opt libertarian and they failed. But yeah, no, progressives are just liberals. Populist can mean left or right. I mean, again, Donald Trump ran on false economic populism and won. The left should have ran on populism, on economic populism as well. We would have won, however we didn't. Doesn't really matter, regardless. But I agree with you. We need to start defining as anti-capitalist. I have said 1 billion times, there is no such thing as a good billionaire. There's no such thing as an ethical billionaire. Not a single person on earth should ever be a billionaire unless everyone else is a billionaire. The way they are marketing it is 100% wrong, but I understand what you're saying. In the future, if you listen to my business concept, you would change your mind about it. Is this about the social media ban? I'm confused at where you were going with that, Anthony. Sorry, I lost track. However, oh, thank you for the tier 1 sub, by the way, Metallic Soul. I didn't see that. Much appreciated. All right, so we in Australia have officially banned social media for those under the age of 16 starting next year. Again, I really think there should be 18. Most of the fuss that's been kicked up around this has been around the idea of verification systems, of adults needing to verify their age. Now, this is nonsense bullshit that the corporate lobbies have put out to try and get the discourse somewhere else. The only real argument against this is that there are a lot of groups that are in like endangered groups, you know, groups that have a difficult time forming social groups, queer teenagers, people in abusive households that could be negatively impacted by this. And I do understand that downside, and it is a very valid downside. I just think when in comparison to the fact that like social media is turning every teenager into Adolf Hitler, it kind of balances that out a little bit, and we could create new social systems and structures to help these people who needed these online spaces to make friends, to have community. Again, if you're under 16, you're going to get affected by this. Go start hanging out at your library. Go outside. Go find like an event in your town and go participate in it. Talk to strangers, make friends in person. I promise you it's not as hard as it sounds. And, you know, you should. Good. Call yourself a socialist. I call myself a socialist as well. The sensible way is to have safe for kids sites and enforce parents. Well, so here's the thing. This does not ban children from the internet. It bans them from social media. And the onus is not on the kids or the parents. For example, if a 15-year-old is on Facebook and they are found out, the 15-year-old is not liable. their parents are not liable, but Facebook is liable for up to $50 million as a punishment. And I love that. First off, the fact of the onus is not on families, but on the corporations to ensure that this is not only enacted, but the regulations that are put in place are followed. Excellent, excellent work. Now, yes, I do think that some idea of sensible internet reform could be possible. However, that shit's hard, Batgaz. I grew up with the internet. All right, I'm 29 years old. I was on the internet from the age of 7, and